Alright guys, in this part we will model the body. So let's go to the front view. So what you should try and understand is how, let's press 3 on this, is what we can break this down to this body. So when I look at it, I see a cube. Move it here. So what I'm doing is basically when you create a cube, you can just move it up. I'm just holding shift, middle dragging up, press scale, press 3. That'll make a subdivided sphere. I'm going to right click, select face, and delete the top here. It's going to give us this. And then we can just line this up from the side. I'm going to right click, go to vertex, and then just move these around until I get a good match to this. Like that. And I'm just moving these around, and I'm dragging a selection and then middle clicking to move it. And you can see we can line it up pretty well like that. So I need to move this to the right and this to the left. I can either turn symmetry on, or I can just select both sides and just scale out. And the image is not perfectly centered, but that's okay. So you can see I'm just going to scale it like that. That's good. And you can see it looks pretty good like that. So it actually just looks like this. So we need to press 3, and then I'm going to just make sure I'm in object mode and go into mesh smooth and set the divisions here to 2. Oops. Like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now just gonna go in the front here and just gonna rotate this a little bit. I could have adjusted this before, but we can do it now. It's not a big deal, like this. Then I'm gonna double click this edge, click extrude, and just scale, press R, scale in, then press extrude again, and press R again, scale down, and then move down like this. So what I'm doing is, again, let's repeat this. Double click the edge, click extrude, then press R, and then scale from the middle just a little bit. Then press G, that will repeat the last command you did, which is extrude. And then press R again for scale, scale from the center. Press 4 so you can see what I'm doing, like this. And then press W to move and bring it down. And I'm trying to match this curvature here, see? I'm using this X-ray button so I can see through. You can also press 4, you can do the same thing. And that looks pretty good, like this. Alright, and then I'm going to go into mesh tools and open the options for insert edge loop tool. Set it to relative, autocomplete's on, insert with edge flow is off. And I'm going to just drop an edge here like this. And if we press 3, you can see we get this nice subdivided edge here, nice bevel. So you can see that some of these edges are hard. You can select the object, go into mesh display, and click soften edge. Let's go into just soften those edges so we don't have to press 3 to see a smooth model. Alright, so now you can see I have some transformations here. I don't want these to change by accident, so the hotkeys we said before was Control Shift F, Control Shift R, and that's going to freeze and reset transformations. Now let's do the leg, and for this we're going to let's see, we'll start with a cylinder this time, and I'm going to hold D and grab the blue, the green arrow, and also, hold D and V, grab the green arrow and just move it down, and you see it's going to snap to the bottom of this cylinder. Hold X, grab the arrow, and that's going to snap it to the grid like this. We can scale this down, bring this up, and I'm not going to clear history because there's something I'm going to do here. I want to make sure I have enough subdivisions. So I'm going to add some subdivision heights. Under inputs, select the polycylinder here. Add 4 subdivisions. Subdivision axis I don't know yet, but I'm going to I'm going to scale it until the bottom looks right, and then I'm gonna move it over actually like this because we're not centered. And then I'm gonna go into make it a little taller, into deform and create a lattice. And what we need to do is set these the ST and U divisions to 2 and the local influences to 30. And then I'm just going to set the T divisions to 3. Now, with the lattice selected, if you accidentally deselect the lattice, just go into your outliner, select the FFD lattice, not the base, but the lattice. Right click on empty space and select lattice point. Then we can move this to the right like that. So it goes through the body. And then move this there as well. And then I want to scale this a little bit because I want the leg to get smaller. So from the side, we'll do the same. And it's actually more narrow like this. There, that looks pretty good. You can see that's going through the body. Now the reason I didn't clear history is because if I turn on wireframe unshaded, which is this button here, what you can do now is go back to the poly cylinder here, and there's a subdivision axis, and we can adjust the subdivision axis here. And what it's going to do is it's going to reduce the subdivisions on the cylinder, and we can see where we can connect this. So basically this is going to be connecting in the middle, but this is going to be a little trickier, so we just need to figure out like the best amount. But you want to have the least amount of polygons, but just enough to make a good connection here. Let's see, so if this goes there, this goes there, that's there, so we're missing 1, I'm guessing. So let's do 12. Let's see what that does. Here, that can go up there. Let's see. Alright, we can try it. Alright, so once you're happy with your subdivision, just clear Shift Alt D. That will clear the history. And I'm going to select both. Go to Mesh and click Boolean Union. That's going to combine them. Clear history again, Shift Alt D. And now we just need to start cleaning this up. So connect here. You can delete this edge using the multi-cut tool and just clicking on the edge and dragging. You don't want to click on the vertex. You can miss, and you can also like click like that, and that's going to be harder to clean up. It's much easier just to click and drag on the edge. So if I click here and then click here like that, so click and drag like this. So I'm not sure if this is going to work exactly, but you know, I'm just trying, and only deleting the edges that I know I can delete. So like these guys, Control Delete. This I want to keep for now. This edge we'll keep for now. Now the thing is, I want to redo these loops that are going horizontal. They're going to be a problem for us. So I'm going to select them and click Delete without Control Delete. This will leave the vertices. You see that? And then from the front view, I'm going to hide the back plate here. I have a layer for that. I'm going to select just these faces here and use the multi-cut tool and then draw selection like this. And then we'll put one like that. And then you can also do this. We'll go this way. Let's see. I think I want one here. And here, and I don't need this one. There. So see, now the loops are following the leg, and the curvature stayed. We'll delete those vertices after. So let's keep working on this. That goes there, that's there, and that there. Control Delete. That's gonna go there and there. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, we can delete this. Sorry, my keyboard's a little loud. So we have all these remaining vertices. It's pretty easy to get rid of them. As long as you know that you don't have any open edges, and we don't, we just have this edge, but this is fine. It has 3 edges on each vertex, so that's good. You can just select make a selection over everything and hit delete. That's only going to remove the stray vertices. And I messed up a little bit here. This goes here. Control delete. All right. So how do we clean this up? Well, it's actually pretty easy. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a loop around. So I'm going to use the insert edge loop tool, this guy. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Insert edge loop tool, like that. Turn that off. And I'm going to set it to equal and turn off autocomplete. What this will do is it will let us just select the edges we want to create an edge loop on. You just click. You don't have to hold shift or anything. Like that. And if you, after it's done, just click and drag. You can adjust it and then hit enter. That's good. So if we preview what that looks like, you can see it's going to be like this. It's already looking pretty good, but I just want to clean up some of these pentagons. So let's do that. It's actually going to be not too difficult. Alright, so if you use the multi-cut tool, if you double click it, you'll get some options here. Let's see, it didn't actually give you the options for it. Now it did. Sometimes it opens up the wrong options for some reason. But if I turn on edge flow, now what's going to happen is if I draw an edge here, like this, if we look at it here, right click, you can see it created a bit of curvature to this. That is because it's following the curvature here from this edge to this one, from that. Okay, that looks pretty good. And what you can do also is select this. Just want to even this out a little bit. So selecting these 2 edges, holding shift, right click, and click, go to slide edge tool and middle drag. That'll let you just drag this back a little bit like that. So you can see we remove those pentagons. Okay, so this, what I'm going to do is actually do this. I'm going to take this edge and go in here, and this one there, and then delete this edge and this one. And then here, I'm going to use multi-cut tool, like that, and with edge flow. Holding shift, it'll click right in the middle, like that. You can see it rounded that out. And then I just want to move this up a little bit. So there's a trick to doing this. I want to move this vertex up, so make sure nothing is behind it. And then if the manipulator is in the way right now, so I'm going to shrink it using minus. And then I'm going to hold C and then middle click and drag on this edge that I want to move on, like this. And that's going to make the vertex stick to that edge, like that. Same with this one. See, hold C, then click and drag, like that. And then you can increase your multiplier again by pressing plus. For history, you can see what that looks like. Just kind of goes around. So we have one less last pentagon here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it down in here. So for this, I'm going to use the insert edge loop tool. Where is it? Here it is. I'm going to have autocomplete on because we have pentagons on each end. So the pentagons will keep it from going anywhere. Set this to relative and insert with edge flow. And just drop it here like this. And then if I select this, and this, shift, right click, slide edge tool. Just gonna kind of spread this out a little bit. Like that. Maybe this edge, press G, that'll redo the last thing you did, which is the slide edge tool. Like that. And then connect from there to there. Turn off edge flow, we don't need it for this connection. Okay, so now you see how this vertex is like too close here. So I'm gonna do the same thing we did last time. Hold C, middle click and drag, and just spread this out there. Just make everything nice and even. There, and that gets rid of any lumps. You can see it's nice and smooth. And if we look at the edge flow, that looks pretty good. Okay, let's finish this off. So you can either drag a selection here, go up here and hold Control and deselect. Another way to do this is right click, go to vertex, select the vertex in the middle, hold Control, right click, two faces, and click two faces again. That's going to just convert your selection to faces. And then we'll just go into extrude, press R, scale in like this, clear history. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all of the edges that aren't at 90 degrees, like this. Use multi-cut tool and just go across, like that. So now we have quads. Looks good. And I'm going to delete half. Oops. Delete. Control Shift F, Control Shift R, that'll reset transformations. And then I'm going to double click the mirror tool, and we want to go into negative. So positive is X, which is this direction. So we want to go into negative X, and all of these settings are good. Hit apply. Good. Go into mesh display, soften edge. Oops. Soften edge. Clear history. And this button is isolate select. What it does is if I select this object and then press this button, it'll isolate that selection, that view. So now we can see what that looks like with the body. So now we have a body. Looks good. So now let's do the arms. Bring back the back plate layer. Alright, so the body, it's going to be interesting. Of course, we're going to start with a cube, and I'm going to orient the cube so it's kind of oriented to the arms. If you press 3, you can see it's going to look like this. Select this face, hit delete. You can select all the vertices, scale them up like this. Bring this back, scale it down, so kind of adjusting. And then I'm going to click extrude, move this over, and then rotate this loop and scale it. So what I'm doing is I'm rotating it, scaling it, and I'm scaling from the center. Do not scale this way or this way. You want to scale from the center so that you're scaling in all directions. Otherwise, you're only going to be scaling in one direction, then it's going to be either too skinny or too fat. So this makes it perfect. That's going to go along the body like this. Just now, I want to make the arms maybe a little longer, maybe not. Let's see. All right, so that's good. All right, so then we're going to put this connection here in the middle, like that. Bring this back. I think the arms have a little bit of a rotation, so I'm using the outside ring like this. And then we just need to adjust from all views. Let's see. Alright, that's good. I think I want, and I'm trying to make this a little skinnier here. I think we just need to bring this up a little, because it wouldn't go over the leg. Okay, looks good. All right, so it just looks like this right now. When you press 1, press 3, and then press mesh smooth, which is this button here. So under mesh smooth here, but it's also this button, just once. And now we need to add the, I his little hand thingy. So let's see, what's a good way to do it? All right, I got it. We're gonna select these faces here, like this, and then I'm gonna click extrude, and then I'm gonna hold Control, and then left click and drag on the offset. It's gonna do this. Make sure it's on the offset. Now the reason I'm holding Control and doing it, because you can just left click and drag, but see, the steps are really too fast. It's going by every decimal point. If I hold Control, I get an extra decimal point of control, like this, and then hit delete. Press 3, and you can see we get that. So that's pretty good. All right. Now, I just want to adjust this a little bit. Now, this part here comes over like that, and then this, we just need to move it back. So I'm kind of orienting the camera like this to this face, so it's kind of flat to that face, and moving it back like this. And then if you need to, just go from the front view and adjust. Same here, just move this back like this. Okay, if we press this button, you should see, okay, it's all the way down there, so we can fix that. Oops. All right. So I want to try something here. I'm going to select these faces here and press 3. Press E for rotate. I'm going to then hold D and V and middle click and drag to this vertex here. So that what I did was I moved the pivot for these faces there. And then if I rotate in this direction, let's actually try moving the pivot here and then doing it. There we go. Seems to work. There. Doing the same with these edges here. Just changing their location a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on there, so I'm probably hitting some kind of hotkey that I don't know about. Okay, just adjusting this. Okay, that looks good. Just move this back a little. And this one. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. I might just adjust this a little. Alright, so now we need to create the inside, and that's actually going to be easy. We just select this edge here, go to Mesh, and click Fill Hole. It's going to connect that face, but you can see it looks like this right now. So, we just need to close this off. If you press 3, it's actually a little bit easier. And what we're going to do is, we want to connect from, let's see, we want to connect from here to here. And then right click. So from here to here, like that. And then you can go from this point, hold Shift, click there. So it sometimes messes up like this. You basically have to be where this face, where nothing crosses this face, like this, right click, see what we did. Then from here to there, hold shift, and then from there to there. There we go. That looks good. So if you want a little extra detail inside, you can do that. So let's move this back a little, and that one. Now, what we can do is we can select these faces on the inside, and then click extrude, and then use the offsets, hold control, and then click and drag the offset. And you can see it's just going to drag inside like this, extrude inside. That's going to give you a sharper edge there. Okay, that's good. And then I want to adjust this a little bit so you can see how this is going through the body. So we'll just adjust that. There. And there. And then we need to isolate the hand. Double click this edge. Click extrude again. Press 1 so it's easier to see. Extrude again. Press R, of course, like that. Now you can, while the edge is still selected, go to mesh, click fill hole, use the multi-cut tool, and just make an X like this, or plus. Object mode, mesh display, soften edge. It's gonna look like that. To make a sharper edge here, I'm going to use insert edge loop tool. Set it to equal distance. Make sure to turn off edge flow, and then insert edge loop. Now, if you leave edge flow on, this is what's going to happen. We don't want that. We want it to be straight. There. There we go. So now we just need to duplicate the arm to the other side. Let's push this in a little bit. Or actually we'll do it like this. I'm going to select these vertices here. Drag a selection like this. Press 3 so we can see. And I'm just going to make it touch the body like that. Okay, clear history. Now the thing is, you can see how this is too chunky. What you can do is you can add one subdivision, mesh smooth. That's just going to soften it, give you more detail. So if you want to add some adjustments, you can, but this will give us basically a better result. And we can do a little bit of an adjustment here. Like select this edge and this one, and just kind of push that out just to make this a little bit rounder so it's not so pointy. Like that. There. That's good. Okay. To get it to the other side, we can just make sure it's not in the group, and then Control-Shift-F, Control-Shift-R. Those are the hotkeys that we created from the first part of the tutorial. And then Control-D to duplicate. Press R, scale into -X, and then type in -1 in scale X here. Hit Enter. And then you want to just Control-Shift-F again. That's going to just set your transformations. And that's done. One thing that I want to actually do here, you see how it's a little pointy because of how many edges we had here. So I'm just going to select these edges here like this, then shift, right click, edit edge flow. That's just going to adjust that. It's minor, but it was bothering me. It was too sharp. Clear history, and then it's always good to name things. Head, body, just double click. This is arm L, arm R. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one for UVs. I'm going to try to keep the UVs as simple as possible, and maybe we'll do a little texturing in Photoshop. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Bye guys.